Welcome back, everyone. I am Eve the Empath, and I'm here to deliver you messages from Spirit to Rising. Want to make sure that we are tapped in and that we are hearing clear, concise messages to help aid us on our journey for healing. There's a lot of people out there that are going through lots of challenges, and our job is to heal while we're on this planet. Not just heal, but break curses, to heal the collective consciousness. And so this is my contribution to that. This is my way of saying, hey, we're all going through something. Let's heal together, a healing journey together. So I'd like to welcome you all back who have come back. I hope that you like and share and subscribe to the messages. And if they don't resonate with you, that's okay. But for those that do, I appreciate the likes. Today is a very calm day, a zen day for me. Yesterday, I set my intentions, and I have to give myself grace for not following the things that I said I was going to do yesterday to a T. And that happens. Sometimes we have a plan for ourselves and we think, oh, we got it easy, we're going to make it. But there is some things that we can push forward when temptations come, when thoughts come, intrusive thoughts, when rejections or abandonments or triggers happen. We have a responsibility to stay true to who we are. And our humanity is deep inside of our soul. Our humanity is just one facet of who we are, but our soul is really our driving force. And that's what's pushing us towards growth, pushing us towards repair, pushing us towards love. And that's all we can ever ask for is love. So only beings from the highest vibration and the purest intentions may come and give messages. My angels, my guides, my ancestors are here with us. And they are so wonderful. I love my family. They love me too. So we're going to jump in and see what Spirit has for us today. We're going to do our Akashic Records. You know, that's one of my favorite decks. And we're going to get a meditation as well as a soul message. And I'm not sure what's going to come next. So as Spirit leads me, we will make a decision as that goes. I'm kind of feeling like a healing mantra, but sometimes the ancestors need to speak. So we might use the Herb Crafter's deck. So I'm going to shuffle the cards with you guys today. Give us a collective message today. Give us a message for our general population, for everyone that comes to this page that finds themselves here. Let there be something for them. And if not, direct them where they need to go. Give them the strength and the tenacity to move forward in the direction that they need to go. Ask for clear and concise messages. Ask for clear and concise messages from you guys. And I thank you. Thank you for giving us a message for the collective. Please allow them to hear what they need to. And for those that the messages don't resonate with, don't let them stay. We don't want them vibrating in places that they don't belong. I hope you guys had a wonderful yesterday. I hope you were able to see some growth in the patterns that you guys have. Thank you for giving us a clear message. A clear message from your Akashic Records. From their Akashic Records, what is it that their soul needs to hear? What is it that they need to be conscious of today? What is the energy of today, surrounding today? What message would be beneficial for their growth, for our growth, for our overall healing? What do we need to hear? What do we need to see? What do we need to be mindful of? What is the messages? Thank you. Thank you. So you gotta go slow. Again, you're giving me a whole lot. I can't work with that. All right. Okay. We got views of the ego. Ironically, I pulled this card yesterday for a friend, a Taurus friend. Again, views of the ego. It's a number 4 of roses. So we're gonna look at that. It was a very specific message for them. It did come out in the upright. So, the secret of light, please give us a clear message for our souls. Give us a beautiful message for us to go through our healing journey. And give us the messages that we need so that we can have a beautiful meditation to go along with it. Whew, thank you. And we have inward revolution. Ironic, huh? Inward revolution. And you'll see why I say it's ironic once we start reading these cards. And that's a number 42. So for those of you guys who are into the numerology, that's going to break down to a 6. So if you're seeing 6s, if you're seeing 4s, know that there's probably something in this message for you. My ancestors love this deck. So we're going to work with this one real quick and see what we got going on. Thank you for giving us a clear and concise message. Angels, guides, and ancestors, I thank you for bringing forth your messages for the collective today. What is the message that we need to hear? What is the energy for today? What is it that we need to be mindful of? What can we work on to move forward in this healing journey? What is it that we need to move forward with? Give us clear and concise messages. I thank you for your clear and concise messages. Ooh-wee. We got a death card. We got some transformation. It makes sense. It makes sense. A lot of times, you know, people are afraid of the death card. They think it's a literal death thing, but sometimes it really is. When it comes to the tarot, however, it does truly mean that there's going to be transition, and that's what death is. True story. I am afraid of death. I have attachment issues. I love, like I told you guys, I have such a loving heart, and when I attach, sometimes it's hard for me to detach. And so one day I was talking to Spirit, and I was like, you know, guys, I'm scared of death. I've lost the ones that I love the most. Not the most, but those that I have loved quite a bit. And with those that I've lost, it's always scary because I never get to see them again. I never have the opportunity to really feel their energy again, right? And so that's when I started to realize that they were with me. Oh my God, my family was with me. But when I had the conscious decision to say, okay, I want to deal with this, let me tell you what Spirit did. So I walk in the mornings because I like to be connected to nature. I like to hear the birds and things like that. So I went to my park and I'm walking and I'm doing my miles. Well, before I start walking, I see this gentleman and he's like weird. He doesn't look like a normal person. He looks kind of discombobulated. And I'm like, is he coming to steal somebody's car? I know. Maybe I shouldn't have vibrated there, but that's where I vibrated. So I was watching him. Like the whole time I'm walking, I'm keeping an eye on this guy. And when he passed by me one time, I looked at him thinking, gosh, you don't look well. You look like you're overdoing it. You're overheating yourself. He was walking like very strong and fast paced in these jeans, and he just didn't belong in that space. So as I continued to go, I saw this man collapse. And my first instinct was, is he tricking me so I can come to him? But Spirit was like, no, go see. So I ran to him, right? And I'm asking him, are you okay? Are you okay? And he's fallen, he's hit his head. And I'm terrified. Like, I'm shaking in my fear, and I'm like, oh my God, Lord, what's happening right now in this moment? And I kid you not, I call 911, and then this other guy comes over to kind of help me, and they're like, turn him over. I'm like, I could see him breathing, and they're like, turn him over, and I'm scared to touch him, and I'm like, oh my God, anyway, long story short, he died in front of me. I'm like, did this really just happen? I just told you yesterday that I am afraid of death, and you bring a guy and let him die right in front of me. And I stayed with him the whole time. I waited for the ambulance to come, and I watched him take his last breath, and that was so hard. I cried so hard because all I could think of was, what about his family? What about the job he had to do? But the job he had to do was to teach me not to be afraid of death. It was just a man sleeping. He took his last breath, and then he was in this realm the same way. So we have to transition. It literally was one transition. He woke up, he did whatever it was that he was led to do, and we crossed paths, and I had to see that. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy because it triggered so many things inside of me, and maybe that's something that you guys are dealing with as well. Maybe you have a lot of triggers. Maybe there's some things that really need to change. So we're gonna look at that. We're gonna delve right into it. So 4 of Roses. If you guys haven't noticed, with this particular card, there are 3 people standing together, right? And there's a mirror. And the name of the card is Views of the Ego. So in this particular card, there's only one person's reflection, but the other people are also there in the mirror. So a lot of times when you pull that card, you get a chance to check ego, because a lot of things that we do in life are reflective of our ego. It could very well be that someone that is in your life has a horrible ego and they're not working well with you, or it could be very well that your ego is in a place where you're not allowing the spirit to deal with you, where you're not able to see, you're looking at everyone out, you're looking from an outside in perspective versus an inside out perspective. And when it comes to life and transition, when it comes to the spirit world, when it comes to the rest of us, not just the human side of us, we have to look at things from an inside out perspective. We can't go in this world and look at everything as the blame. So I'm going to read from the book for you. It says, 3 people stand together before a full-length mirror. The man in the center gazes keenly at himself. Yeah, he looking good to himself. And it seems his reflection is looking back with a superior air, like that arrogance, right? His is the sole reflection to be seen. This card shows that there might be a thoughtless, selfish person in your life, whether it in a love, friendship, family, or business relationship. This person is self-absorbed and makes plans only in terms of how they affect him or her. You may have lingered too long, repeatedly giving this person, even though you have received much in return. You've tolerated this dismissiveness because you've kept hoping things would get better, or perhaps you're too afraid to step away. You are called now to be aware. This person is unlikely to change, and you may be delaying the inevitable. Take an honest look in your mirror and see how staying in this relationship affects your future. Gosh, that feels very important to me, because I know for me, I give a lot of chances. And maybe that's Spirit's way of telling me, no, stop. And maybe they're saying the same thing to you. Maybe there are people that you've given so many chances because they have some good in them, or they have a good heart. But what is the whole picture? Is the picture revolved around what they are doing without including you? Is this person you? Right? Are you that person that cares not about the collective, about everyone else, but only about yourself and what you can get out the deal? What you bring to the table is more important than what anybody else does, or your needs? It's time to look at that. It's time to examine that. It's time to take a true look on the inside and see things for what they are, right? See people for what they are, not how you want to see them. Take the glasses off. Take the glasses off. We got inward revolution, right? Inward revolution talks about going on the inside and having a moment of clarity within yourself. The death. Think about that. Here it is. It's telling you, reevaluate what you see, who you're with, what you're doing with them. Are they causing you life or death? It's time to cut that out. I also pulled some other cards for you guys. It says ask for angelic support, exploring unity consciousness, and overcoming fear. I think that's kind of cool considering I had told you a whole fear story today. Spirit is, they are awesome. I love it when they deliver. So let's look at the inward revolution. What is Spirit talking to you about in your soul? What is the messages that they want you to hear? So inward revolution, it says you are always moving forward. Even when you feel like you are going backwards, your path may seem to go up and down and inward and outward. The spiral is a symbol of your soul journey. It represents a cyclical adventure into the heart center. You will continually revisit aspects of your life to bring you deeper understanding. Difficulties and challenges can command a greater focus as they help to build you bigger and better dreams and desires. You hear that? Each cycle of life is important. It's an important stepping stone that expands into the next. Your life will only feel authentic when you come to your own conclusions. So are you letting someone else come tell you what to do? Are you choosing based on what someone else's needs are? Are you taking the opportunity to look in that mirror and see your own reflection? Or are you that person that only cares about what's going on for you? It's time to go inside and look at what you're doing and how you're doing it. It says your life will only feel authentic when you come to your own conclusions. An inward revolution will open you up to the wisdom of your soul. Soul messages. I love it. It is a path we must all take to truly know and love ourselves. I think that's the biggest part of the journey towards healing. It's learning to love yourself. And a lot of times you hear that, oh, you gotta love yourself. And no one ever gives you a blueprint because it's really different for everyone. But it starts with allowing yourself to know who you are. What is it that you like? Do you like to be out in nature and sing with the birds or sing to the birds? Do you like to sit with the trees and hug on them? Do you enjoy music and allowing it to flow through your spirit? Are you compromising who you are for others? And that can be family, that could be work, that could be relationships. It's in all areas of your life because you are a whole being. And that part of being is being able to be complete in every aspect, every dimension of you, right? Every dimension of you requires you to be present. It requires you to know who you are, to love on those parts of yourself that you're afraid of, to shine light in the darkest spaces, the parts of you that you're ashamed of, the fact that you even feel shame over things that happened. We are human in this experience, right? And we're all gonna have time for choices. Each choice brings us something different, but it's all part of it. It says, from this place, we move outward back into the world, empowered with our soul's wisdom. You are worthy of all you desire, no matter where you are in your spiral. You are worthy. For some of you guys, you may have some past that you're really, oh my God, you're so ashamed of. That's the word they keep saying, is shame. And shame comes in many aspects, but what it does is it hinders your growth. It keeps you stuck. And for some of you, you guys are stuck, right? You're not seeing you. You're so busy trying to please someone else that you can't see you. Let go of that shame. You can't change it. You can't change what has happened, but you can rewrite your story anytime. It's time to have a death moment, right? We have to look at things from a totalitarian state of mind. We have to know that transition is part of life. Just like that guy woke up and he died in front of me. Spirit was showing me, hey, Eve, this is part of life. Death is part of life. You will transition. And it might not be comfortable. That was one of the most uncomfortable things I've experienced. A stranger. But we're all the same. We're all in this universe together. And once we start realizing that, we all have a part to play in the collective, then we can move towards healing that. We can move towards healing ourselves. So we're going to look at it from this book and see what they got to say. It says, honor that which is passing. Celebrate the beauty and fragility of life, and welcome endings. Didn't they say that? It's lining up for you. Welcome the ending. All things come to an end. Find closure so you may accept renewal. First, pay homage to what must die. It has given you life. The rich scent and vibrant color of marigold is said to lead the souls to the beloved dead home so we can celebrate them and the lives they lived. Honor your experiences as they pass. Like the delicate paper flags, life is fragile and fleeting. Delight in the beautiful moments. As the bright marigold flowers will eventually wither and fade, embrace this time of transition. I think that's very specific. Again, they said that there are people in your life that they're not going to change. They're not going to honor you. They're not going to respect you. They are who they are because that's where they choose to be. And yeah, there may have been some good things, some good moments, right? That happens. Because if it was all bad, you would have left a long time ago. My ex used to say that to me. If I was all bad, why you here? And the truth is, he wasn't all bad. He wasn't. He just wasn't good for me. He had a purpose, and his purpose was to teach me to love me. And maybe for some of you, that's what you gotta do. Honor the dead. Let go of what is no longer serving you. If it still brings you to tears, if it still brings you anguish, if your heart still feels flutters of pain, let that shit go. Right? What you afraid of? Because for some of you, you was already doing it by yourself. For some of you, you had to lift your own self up. For some of you, you were torn down, beat down so bad. What you holding on to this shit for? You deserve more. Honor the experience and go inside. And again, don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed. It's your story, but it's here for your growth. So it says, Overcoming fear. I will transcend every loss. Overcoming fear. That's important. Like I said, with me, it was tough to sit there and watch someone take their last breath. It says, when fear is overcome, you are able to rest in the resilience of your soul, no matter how frustrated or inconvenienced your ego seems to be. Oh my God, that is hilarious, because they just told us about the ego, right? And sometimes that's why we hold on to things, because our ego won't allow us to. You are able to embrace each obstacle and become the one you were always destined to be. Who are you destined to be? Are you here to serve everybody else, or are you here to evolve your soul or your spirit? I think I choose the latter. I'm tired of serving everybody else but me, because I deserve all that magnificent that I poured out into everyone else but myself. And I feel like a lot of you probably are going through the same thing. I'm sure of it. I know that at least one of you are experiencing that, because I wouldn't be here if you weren't. It says, in overcoming fear, every loss surely inspires a gain of insight for the evolution of your spiritual journey. This mantra is ideal for opening back up to life, healing chronic fatigue, and releasing cellular memories. Exploring unity consciousness. It says, I am one eternal light appearing in all. I am one eternal light appearing as all. Excuse me. It says, when unity consciousness is explored, you are able to sense a connection that unites all hearts. No matter how unique each person seems to be, in unity, there is always a willingness to accept the differences that make us unique, while embracing the greater cosmic web of interconnectivity throughout all time and space. In exploring unity consciousness, you are not a person in search of the light. You are the light. You are the light dressed up as a person along your soul's journey. This is ideal for amplifying presence, grounding your energy, and deepening meditation. So for some of you guys, you're not familiar with meditation, or maybe it's difficult for you. And so it's saying that you need to ground your energy, that you need to kind of explore who you are on the inside. And ask for angelic support. It says, my angels may respond when I am open and authentic about how I feel. And for some of you guys, you're feeling quite heavy, right? We're taught in our societies a lot of times to be so independent, to not ask for the things that we need. In our cultures, men are taught to hide their energies, to not be vulnerable. But it's in the surrender, which is part of vulnerability, that we are able to allow that support to come in. Because if you never ask for help, people assume that you can do it all by yourself. And sometimes you just need to release that energy. Sometimes you need to transmute that energy. Sometimes you just need to know that you're okay. And a hug or a kiss is something that can get you there, right? For those of you who are dealing with that shame and that cloud that's continuously following you, and your gaze are filled with tears, and yet you're still hiding them, right? You're trying to put on a smile for the world, for your job, for your kids, but you're hurting on the inside because you won't ask for support, because you can't be vulnerable. This is ideal for that. It says, when I ask for angelic support, you're requesting solutions from a higher realm of consciousness. Such a realm of consciousness works in accordance with free will to help you face your experiences instead of helping you avoid them. Rather than believe that the cause of your feelings must be changed or eliminated, it is essential to ask your angels for better ways of viewing the feelings that kept getting triggered. because each trigger represents a healing. You are more likely to feel the presence of your angels when asking for help to face your most difficult emotions. In order to access angelic assistance, it's important to be with your feelings, so your angels know where your support is needed most. This mantra is ideal for unraveling the spiritual ego, giving up patterns of avoidance, and being a better receiver. How many of you guys are afraid to receive? I'm sure a lot, because of in this card, when we were looking at the ego, it says that we would rather stay in the company of those who are not even giving back to us on the same level. We would rather deal with it, and it's telling you it's time to cut those ties. It's time to have that death. When I think about those things, when I think about that energy, when I think about my triggers, when I think about my fears, it makes me think, gosh, I appreciate my angels. I am one who loves to feel my emotions because I know that in my emotions I have the ability to change things for myself. And when I think about life from that perspective, it gets easier because I get triggered all the time. I get triggered when, biggest trigger, if I open up to someone or to friends and they close off or they push me away or they don't respond, I take that as a rejection or an abandonment. But at the end of the day, that's something I have to work on. That is something I have to see from my own perspective, right? But with angelic support, it's telling me, hey, we're here. We saw that trigger. Now let's deal with it. So let me give you your meditation. It says, place your hand on your card and close your eyes. Begin to journey inward, and as you breathe in, draw your awareness within. As you breathe out, gently let go and allow everything to just be. Imagine a golden path in front of you. Follow this path as it spirals downward into a deep, wise, and loving point of light. This is your center. Feel the absolute fullness of you and sense your access to the universal wisdom and love. Allow yourself to move into a complete state of balance and peace. Stay here for a little while, at least 30 seconds, and know you are here to know yourself better, not to find absolute answers. Solutions will come as inspired actions as you discover the clarity at your center. Begin to follow the golden path outward. Feel the inherent power of this sacred design and notice how you feel as you move upward and outward with an expanded understanding of who you are. Breathe your expanded knowledge into your physical world. Open your eyes when you are ready and see through your new eyes. Wow, guys. That was beautiful. I always appreciate when Spirit delivers for us. I am grateful for their messages. I am grateful for everything tying in together because that lets us know that we are definitely where we need to be. I am grateful for the endings that come because as we allow the death to come in our lives, as we allow the transitions to come in our lives, as we allow the endings, we make room for beautiful beginnings, right? We make room for the very things we've desired, for those relationships that bring us fulfillment, because now we're fulfilled within ourselves. We're not looking outside for it. We're vibrating differently. Our consciousness is different. And so once our consciousness changes, we no longer attract those energies that take from us, right? We move in a direction of wholeness and peace. We move in a direction of clarity and hope and wisdom and inner knowledge. And you can't beat that, right? So honor the dead. Honor what is no longer living. Don't be afraid to let go of what no longer serves you. Because just like death is a natural part of life, we all must transition at times. Don't forget to take that journey inward. Know yourself. Learn yourself. Ask for support. They're here to help you. I hope this message helps you guys. I know it did me. I can definitely see where I need to heal a little more, areas that I need to continue to work on, and stop raising the dead. I have to say that because, again, my heart sometimes is so expansive that I allow people back that don't need to be back. And while they may not be back in the way that I allowed them in the first time, sometimes they don't deserve any access. Sometimes it's time to let the dead go. And if you're having people in your life that are not pouring back into you, let them go. And if you're feeling shame, let it go. Bury that shit. It's not meant for you. Don't vibrate in places that you don't belong. I love that saying because we do. We have a tendency to go to familiars and things that feel safe. But it's a reason why you're not there. It's a reason why you moved. It's a reason why your soul's pushing you, right? Listen. I thank you guys. I appreciate you for listening to these messages. And I hope that you find something that resonates with your spirit. And if you don't, that's okay. Maybe you know somebody who will. But I love you. And I wish you the most beautiful day. And I applaud you for your healing journey, for taking the steps towards making you a better you. Bye, guys.